So, moms, the kids are back to school. Yay! And moms are back to their wellness, but maybe you don't know where to start. So, by answering these 12 questions, you can coach yourself on what that place to start is. And in the end, you will have a clear path for the next little while to what you want for yourself, whether it be improved health or career or life or love, whatever it is. So grab a paper and a pen and follow along. My name is Lisa, and I am a life coach. I help all humans get where they want to go, but primarily I help moms because I am a mom. And I have a 19-year-old and a 21-year-old, and they are both in university, and I'm very proud. But I've kind of been through the gamut of it all, and I've been there, done it, and that allows me as a life coach to maybe I haven't been through all of the experiences that you might have had, but it allows me to ask the right questions. So it also has helped me identify what I'm not about. And I will not tell you what to do. Um, I'd be like, have you ever tried to tell a teenager what to do? They just completely do the opposite. So it doesn't work. So I don't want to say, here are the 10 things that you have to do to, improve your wellness. Um, But what I can and what I am about is helping you realize this for yourself. So I have these 12 questions and I came up with them. And I'll tell you a little story here because yesterday I went up to the post office and I've been thinking about how I want to do this topic of kids are back to school and moms are back to their wellness. Yes, we might have to go to work and we have all the other obligations we have to do, but often at this time of the year it's a bit of a that predictability of school really allows for a mom after a summer of putting everyone else's needs ahead of her, allows her to kind of just say, what do I want to do for myself? And with that little bit of freedom of them in school, it allows the thought to arise. And so hopefully these 12 questions will help you act on that. But the story is yesterday I was driving up to the post office and I was going up the hill and this minivan came by and it was a lady in there and she just had this smile on her face. She was just like, ah. And I thought, what? I've totally been there 1,000 times. Just like, quiet moment in the car. Maybe I have a hot coffee and it's just absolute bliss. And then after the post office, I went to the grocery store and there was a woman ahead of me and she kind of had that same smile on her face. And I thought, okay, so this is what I'm going to talk about. And so I came up with these 12 questions. And the tool we're going to use today for you to coach yourself is something that I often use in pretty much, well, I always use it in my private sessions. In the private sessions, we can really go deep and we can really focus on things. But in this all access, sessions, I wanted everyone to have access to what coaching can provide. And you shouldn't have to pay tons of money for this. If you want to do it privately, then, we can really go deep. But you can really kickstart this on your own. And it doesn't have to be just at this time of year. It can be anytime. Anytime you're just ready for that change, you can go through this tool. So press pause, play it as many times as you want, and over time it can change. So when you've kind of tackled one, you can kind of come back and be like, all right, what do I want to focus on now? So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to draw what I call a me compass. And it's a compass of wellness about me, about yourself. So draw a circle and divide it into six little directions, six pies, And each of these pies I'm going to call a wellness direction. So this is your me compass. And in the first one, I want you to write the word sleep. In the second one, I want you to write eat. This is, our nutrition, what we do for ourselves. In the third one, write the word move. And this is how we exercise and gain breath during the day. In the fourth one, write live. And this is how we live, like what we do, whether we, join a book club or go back to work or take that promotion. And in the fifth one, write the word love. So love is all of those relationships. Do we want more or less? Maybe it's your partner, maybe it's, your mom or a cousin or a neighbor or your friends. And then in the last one, write the word me. So this would be like self-development, things like that. So there you have it. These are what I define as the 6 starting directions of your wellness. So sleep, of course, self-defined. This is what we like. Do we have enough? Um, Eating, nutrition, what we put in our mouths, how much, when. Moving, exercise. Living, what we want for ourselves in the way of what we do every day to fill our days. Love, our relationships, and me is the self-development. So here we go with the 12 questions. So have your paper and pen, and what we're going to do is I'm going to ask you a question, and I'm going to have you just place ticks or checks. You do 1, 2, 3, and then 4, and then the line. So you can put a tick around each of the 6 directions. So question number 1. After a busy summer of taking care of everyone else before you take care of yourself, if you look at the Me Compass and all of the wellness directions, place a tick beside each of the categories or each of the directions that you would want more for yourself. As many as you want. Just look at the compass. If it's more sleep, put a little tick. If it's you want to move more, put a little tick. If you want to do some self-development, put a little tick. If you want to spend more time with friends or with your partner or maybe your mom, put a little tick. Sleep, eat, move, live, love, and me. Any one of those. And that leads us to question number 2. So once you've done that, now what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to think ahead 3 months from now. Between now and then, place a tick beside any of the directions that you feel you can make a change in a positive direction for yourself. So it doesn't have to be a huge change, but place a tick beside any of the directions that you feel realistically you can improve for yourself, that you want to improve for yourself. Some of these categories might not be something you feel you need to focus on because maybe they're great. Maybe they're just functioning great and other directions are pulling you. They need you more. They need more of your time and energy. So just think in 3 months' time, which one, any of these, do I realistically think that I can make actionable change with? Which will take us to question number 3. So question number 3 is, which of these directions, and it can be more than one, do I feel that I can make an actionable change today? Today, which one of these directions, and it can be more than one, that I could make even a small change today to improve. And write those down. Little ticks. Which will take us to question number 4. So now when we look at the compass, we've determined all the areas that we would like to have improvement, and we've determined which areas we realistically think we can make a change in the next 3 months, and then we've selected ones that we can change, take a step toward today. So my question is now, pause. Take a look. Are there any patterns emerging? Are you noticing anything? Are these things that you're thinking, that you're placing a tick towards, are they about you? And it's totally okay. You could be thinking, oh, this is my child. Like, I need to do this for my child. I need to, make sure they're in more programs, just to exercise. They need to eat better. They need to sleep better. And that's totally fine. So I would like for you for this to be about you. So continue on. Make it, if it's about somebody else and that's naturally where you're going, then finish the questions about that person, but then you can always come back and do it for yourself. So, are there any patterns emerging? And just pause and reflect, which takes us to question number 5. And I have my little cheat sheet here. So, question number 5. Oh, this one can be a tough one. So, when you look at the Me compass, are any of these directions, do any of them feel like they're blocks? Do you feel overwhelmed by any of these directions? And put a little tick. So by overwhelmed, like sometimes I remember back when my children were little, and at the end of the summer, I got getting back, and I had put on quite a bit of weight over maybe a couple of years leading in, and I just felt overwhelmed by the idea of where do I start? And it was so important, and it was probably on the top of my mind. It was probably easier to focus on a different direction of wellness because my weight was such a challenge. But I knew what I needed to do, so I had to dig really deep. So my moving and my nutrition, those would have been areas that would have been blocks for me, but I knew I needed to focus on them. So this is kind of what I mean. So if you're feeling overwhelmed by something and you're feeling like it could be a block, place a tick beside those categories. And we'll move on to question number 6. So reflecting on what you've done so far, now I want to ask, is there a word or a direction that maybe isn't on this compass right now that you feel, or you're feeling like it's just coming up, like it's not on here? It's sleep, it's eat, it's move, it's whatever, but it's something else. So career, weight, um, anxiety, whatever. Is there another word that just keeps kind of popping up? And if that word exists, I want you to write it down. Just write it down anywhere on this piece of paper. It doesn't matter where, it doesn't matter how. Big bold letters, whatever you want to do, just write that down. If there isn't, then, place another tick on one of the categories that you do see in front of you that you feel is just, that keeps popping up. And just pause and say, wow, like maybe do we need to exclamation mark something or circle something or do a little doodle on a certain direction? So just pause. Now we're going to move on to the next question, and we're going to add on. So here we go, question number 7. Because at this point, things are starting to become a little clearer. So we're going to do a little exercise, and I do this in my private sessions, so bear along with me. No one's around. Remember, this is a safe zone, and you're quiet. There, hopefully, you're watching this privately. So I want you to put one of your hands on your stomach and one of your hands on your heart. And I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to take a deep breath in. And I want you to hold it. And now I'm going to ask you to exhale and listen to your gut. And what is it saying? Open your eyes, look at your compass, and circle something. Underline it, exclamation mark, whatever you need to do. Pick something. Maybe it's more than one. Maybe you need to or want to add more words. Maybe you want to flip it over and write something else. What is your gut telling you to do? And then just stop. Take another deep breath in and look at it. There it is, right in front of you. So what I want to ask you is, which would be question number 8, is what do I really want for myself? What do I want to do right now? And I want you to creatively just find something, whether it's writing it down or circling it. What do you want for yourself? Even just think about it. Take another deep breath in. What do I want for myself right now? There doesn't need to be any guilt around this because we're just having a conversation. And if it's important for you, if it's something that you feel important enough for your own wellness, and if you acted on it, would it increase your happiness? So what do you want for yourself right now? That's question number 8. We still have a couple questions to go. So question number 9. You've determined what you want for yourself. You've found these words, you've circled it. Now, what is one step you can take today to help move you in that positive direction? So let's say it was moving. Let's say you wanted to exercise more. So, or fit it back in. What is one step, one simple step? It doesn't need to be big. You don't need to call a personal trainer or join a gym. Like, not everybody has the time and the money for all of that. But what is one step you can do? Can you look at your calendar and or your daily schedule and kind of program it into your phone that you're going to go for a walk? Does it have to be a 2-hour run or a 3-hour hike? No, not a lot of people have time for that, and our bodies can't handle it. But is it 20 minutes? Could you do 20 minutes today? What is it that what is the one step you can do for yourself? So if it's living, maybe you want to read more. Maybe, you've just spent a whole summer, staying, socializing if you just like to have some quiet read time or bath time. Maybe you want to bring that back into your life. And what is one thing you can do to fit that in? In the love category, if it's reestablishing relationships, what's one thing you can do today? Just one. And the reason why I really focus on the one step is because time and time again, if we just focus on the one step and we take it, and it's realistic, it has to be a realistic step, then it automatically leads to a second step and a third step. It just opens the door, and all of a sudden, so many other things have changed. And so let's say it's sleep. So the one step I could take is I could turn off the TV or turn off my social media which, doing social media can be somewhat self-care if it's not abused. So, because it is a little bit of a break from life. But, is it turning off the screen and just, going to bed at a normal time? So, by doing that today, then tomorrow, might you feel better and have a little bit more energy to do a little bit more exercise? Have that kind of capacity to maybe put together a more nutritious meal and be a bit happier, and then those around you feel it, and then your loved ones, that those relationships increase, and then you feel better about yourself, improving your me category, just kind of like transcends into all of them. So question number 9, what is one step that you can do today to get you closer to that goal? Which leads to question number 10. So now imagine that it's now December. It's 3 months' time, and you've taken these steps toward the direction that you want, and you're feeling, you're accomplishing things. Like you're getting there. Let's say your goal was to eat more nutritionally, and you have been. You've done a real concerted effort to improve that. In 3 months' time, I would like to ask you now, question number 10. How are you going to feel about yourself? How is that going to feel? What's that going to look like? How are you going to feel about yourself, the fact that you've done that? Probably pretty good. But, either, you can draw a little something on your page, maybe, like, yeah, draw a little something. Draw a little stick person of what that, or a little face of what that looks like for yourself, which is going to lead to question number 11. So this one is something that we also do in coaching, is because, of course, life gets in the way. So question 11 is, now imagine that you've done that. You've taken the steps to improve your wellness, but there are obstacles in your way. Maybe there's sickness in the house. Maybe, there's travel for work that has gotten in the way of your wellness path, and you've kind of, fallen off the wellness wagon a couple times. What can you set up for yourself now to help you overcome those obstacles? Because they will happen. You're a mom. They happen all the time. And, you should always give yourself grace that every day won't be perfect. But what can you set up for yourself? What can you allow yourself that if there is a sickness, and maybe your goal was to exercise, and the whole house unfortunately got a bug and you were really down for 2 weeks, what can you set up for yourself right now that can help you overcome those obstacles, so that at the end of those 2 weeks of sickness, when you're ready to get back, you're not overwhelmed by getting back on track? So setting ourselves up for success by looking ahead at those obstacles can really just weather the storm, because life does happen. It always happens. So it's all great, when you start a new routine for a week, and then, lo and behold, something happens. But it's about keeping that consistency during those times. And the more and more we do it, the more we kind of build that muscle, then it just makes it easier for the next time. And then it just simply becomes who you are, that this is what you do for yourself on a regular basis. I regularly get up at a crazy hour and go for a walk. And it's not because I want to lose weight or I want this or I want that. I just simply feel better. And I know that when I don't get up, I don't feel as good. My breath doesn't come as easily, and I just don't feel as positive. So most times when I'm lying in bed and the alarm goes off, I'm like, oh, I don't want to get up. I just think of that feeling. I just think I'm going to have a better day. Everything just happens. Everything's just happier. So I just get up. That's the only reason why I get up. I do have a cup of coffee too waiting for me, but I kind of just get, and and I just get out. And once I'm out and I've moved for 5 seconds, I feel fantastic. So that's just me. That's just an example. But, whatever it is for you, overcoming those obstacles is very kind of crucial to what how we're going to proceed long term. So now, question number 12. What I want, knowing now what you want for yourself, knowing how it's going to feel, knowing what like predicting obstacles are going to your way, and that, how you're going to overcome them. I want to ask you the question, what does success look like for you? What, in the end, can you celebrate? That So my definition of success is that I'm happier because I'm sleeping closer to 8 hours a night. I used to sleep 5.5 hours a night. Now I've improved it to 7. I'm not quite at 8, but in 3 months' time, I'm going to celebrate that I've made an improvement. So, what do you define as success for yourself? And write that down. Make a little note or a little face or a little quote on the page of, in 3 months' time, I am going to celebrate what? And there you go. 12 questions. They're all done. Um, remembering to allow life to happen when you do this, um, and remembering that you can always revisit. Draw a circle. In those directions, it's just a start. If there's different directions for yourself that you want to put in that circle, maybe your circle's only 3 pies, maybe it's 4, maybe it's 12. Whatever it is you want for yourself, just stop, make that circle, write it down, and you can do the breathing exercise. You can think about what 10 out of 10 is in each of these, and you can look at where I'm at right now and what do I want for myself. But you can revisit this at any time. So I encourage you to think about it. Think about what you want for yourself. Do you want to make improvements in yourself, in your wellness? Because improved wellness will always lead to increased happiness. And when we're happy in ourselves and in our health, we are always more for our families. They feel it. They feel that, when mom's happy, it's like, yay, like we're rock and roll here. And I really want that for you and your health and for your family. And if you know anybody who might benefit from this tool, then please share. Um, I'm going to be doing a lot of these. It's just me having a conversation. I'm in my office, which is actually my guest room. And so I've tried to make it really pretty by putting up these little things here and the fake plant in the background. Um, but it's just me at my office. I'm having lights here. I have an old computer, and I'm learning this all on my own. I'm, setting up these videos and editing them myself, so they won't be fancy, and there'll be lots of ums and stuttering until I get comfortable doing this. Uh, but but there's it's what I just want to do for everybody. I don't. I've tried to look up coaching when I started my coaching business, and all the videos are all about like how to coach or how to get clients. And it's like, well, where are the videos of how can I just be coached online? Like, why do I have to go and pay somebody $500 an hour? I don't charge $500 an hour, by the way. I do, but it is pricey. Like, it's pricey, and of course, there's a lot of benefit to that. Like, we go pretty deep, and it gets pretty raw, and it's not therapy. It's always positive. That's the other thing. Coaching is always about where do you want to go. Sorry about that. Where do you want to go, and how do we get there? How do we get there? And what do you need to do to get there? And I help you get there. And but in the meantime, if you have a question that you would like me to do one of these all access coaching sessions on, please direct message me through YouTube. Or I do have a Facebook group that I would love for you to join. It's just moms helping other moms figure it out. We put questions on there, but you can always direct message me on the Facebook group, and it's called Happy Me Moms Club. So the Happy Me Moms Club. And I would love to see you there. You can direct message me there, or you can go to my website, which is mindfulboom.com. And there's down at the bottom, you can contact me. You can just send me a little email. And any questions that you, or any sessions that you would like me to coach on, and I'll give it a try. So thank you so much for watching me. I guess I'm supposed to say something like subscribe. I don't know. I don't know. I'm sure I will improve over time, but maybe you can subscribe. I plan to do these often and hopefully more regularly as time goes on. And thank you for joining me. Have a great day. Bye. And also, I forgot to mention, and I don't know how to edit this in properly, but on my website at mindfulboom.com, I have taught myself how to make these fun little wellness quizzes. So if you go to mindfulboom.com and click Fun Quizzes, there will be a quiz on today's topic, and it will be called Moms Back to Wellness. And it's just this exercise that we've done in the form of a quiz, and it's just a fun thing to do if you want. So hope to see you there. Thanks.